Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today we are jumping into the Ultra Series portion of VGC 2019. Of course, for those that don't know, this year VGC has a list of rotating rule sets, so we had Sun Series and then Moon Series, and now we are up to the final format, Ultra Series. Ultra is pretty different from the previous ones because everything is allowed, so the primals are allowed, Mega Rayquaza is allowed, Megas in general are allowed, and of course you have Z moves from Moon Series as well. So I think, having just played it a little bit early on, it already looks drastically different from what we've seen with the earlier formats, but it is still really exciting, and I think it's definitely a little bit different from 2016, but of course the format that is closest to this is VGC 2016, so I'm excited to dive into it. This will be a really fun format. It's going to be the format that we see two internationals played with, as well as the World Championships, so it's going to be a pretty big deal, and we're going to be playing it for the next couple of months or so. So I'm excited to dive into it, and of course Ultra Necrozma is a thing now, so that is the first thing I wanted to try out because it's something that I've never played with before, I have no experience with, and I think it's a good way to kind of get acclimated with some of the newer mechanics in the game. So I'm trying out this team that was kindly built by a player called Liam Geertz. Hopefully I didn't botch that last name too bad. He's also known as Absurdity VGC on Twitter, and he was very kind to provide a list of sample teams on Trainer Tower. So I've linked the pastebin for this team specifically, as well as the article linked in the description below. There's also another article on Victory Road that also has sample teams that you guys can try out. I don't think there are QR code teams public yet for those, but if you want to just play with them on Showdown, definitely go check them out. I also want to thank Genius VGC, who designed this new overlay. He designed all the overlays for all of VGC 2019, so thank you to him. So yeah, excited to be trying out a brand new format. This is the first year we have rotating rule sets, and I think this one is going to be really, really fun to play with, and it's going to be quite different from some of the other stuff we've experienced. So we're just going to dive into it. Would love to know your guys' thoughts on the format, early impressions, strategies that you'd like to see. Definitely let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you guys enjoy, please show support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. We're going to look for our first opponent today, and I am pretty excited. So the team I'm trying out is featured around this Duskwings Necrozma, which we didn't really see any usage throughout Sun and Moon series, but it is a little bit better over here in Ultra, and of course you kind of use it to evolve into the Ultra Necrozma. Also got a bunch of more standard stuff, things like Salamence, Lele, Incineroar, Groudon, and Amoonguss. None of those are too crazy. And we're up against, this is probably going to be one of the more common archetypes that we see throughout the course of the early season, especially. And that's this Rayquaza Xerneas team. So Rayquaza Xerneas is a lot better, it seems, than it was back in 2016. And even in 2016, it did very well at Worlds. Both Jamie Boy and Baz Anderson got top 16 and top 8 at Worlds with Rayquaza Xerneas, but it seems like it's even better now. Feeny is a really, really good tool, as well as Incineroar. So let's see how I want to approach this. Amoonguss is my best answer to shut down the Xerneas. Incin Feeny as a lead can be kind of annoying right from the get-go, though. Because I kind of want to lead Lele. It is Scarf Lele, but don't know about that. Incin Groudon could be okay, actually, because of course this is Primal Groudon now, so I'm kind of expecting like Incin and Feeny as a lead for my opponent. So I'll go with those two, and I'll go with Lele and Necrozma. Yeah, I like that, I think. Salamence is pretty good, especially against Rayquaza, and it can Tailwind, so... But most Feenys do carry Icy Wind. Although this does mean that I'm not bringing Amoonguss, which I think is a slightly questionable decision on my end. But I have not played... I played like 10 games on Showdown with this team yesterday, and that was pretty much it. So I have no idea how to approach this format. I'm just as lost as anyone is. And I'm expecting to take some L's earlier on in the format. But it's okay. It's definitely a learning process. But yeah, it's nice that there are so many great content creators out there that have posted all these nice resources out there. So yeah, definitely go check out the links in the description below if you want to try out teams on Showdown just to get your feet wet with the format. It's actually going to be Feeny and Xerneas instead of Vincent Zern, so yeah, I do regret not bringing Amoonguss, but it felt tough to fit it onto a slot. In fact, I don't even think Groudon's that great. Part of the issue is that Feeny can heal Pulse as well. And yeah, we got to get used to some longer animations now that the primals are back in, but that's my first time seeing it in game. That's pretty cool. And of course, Primal Groudon does have a slightly better matchup against Xerneas than our normal Groudon that we were playing with back in Sun and Moon series. But, okay. I mean, I do have the opportunity to just, like, fake out Xerneas and Geomancy this turn. Or, sorry, not Geomancy, Swords Dance, and I kind of like that. The only thing I'm worried about is if it's, like, Feeny with Scald or Muddy Water, and Rayquaza comes in. And Xerneas is switching out. Oh, God. If there's a Water-type attack on Feeny, I'm gonna be so sad. No Protect either, but most Feenys don't carry Protect. And that's a Z move. So a lot of the Feenys on these teams are pretty support-oriented. Like Icy Wind, Heal Pulse. But I just got completely decimated by Hydro Vortex. I mean, that's probably going to be game, but... oh my god. Yeah, I was like, maybe I can take a Scald, but certainly not a Hydro Vortex. That was so sad. Okay, it's not the end of the world, though, for us. We can still definitely pull this back. But, lesson learned, I have to play more carefully with Groudon. I should just assume that Feeny has the Water-type attack. Even though most Feenys that I've seen earlier on in the format are support-oriented, like, you have to just assume it does. That was unfortunate. Okay, no worries. Let's see. Thinking of just U-turning out and Moonblasting Rayquaza. Rayquaza protecting here is relatively obvious, though. So I could target the Feeny slot instead. I am behind, so I feel like I kind of need to go for it. Yeah, I mean, he can't be sashed. Or, I mean, if he's sashed, sash is broken. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Feeny. I'm just expecting the Protect here. Okay, if that switches into Zern and Rayquaza protects, that's pretty good. It's gonna go into Instant, but that's okay too. If Ray doesn't protect, though, that's gonna be bad, because that's probably just a Dragon Ascent into Lele. Oh, and it doesn't protect. Could be a Assault Vest then, maybe. Although that Instant looks like it's Assault Vested. I'm kind of surprised it didn't protect there. But I guess my opponent was already ahead, so he was like, I might as well go for it. Yeah, that's... I mean, I would say it's probably going to be game. I could have pulled it back with Lele, but I just really didn't... like. Scarf Lele is so common, I was expecting surely you would protect from the Scarf Lele there. Because if I get that knockout, you either bring in Feeny... I mean, you probably bring in Feeny. But losing Groudon is super bad for us in general. That being said, I don't think it's over yet. Yeah, it's definitely not over. What can we do? Yeah, that Ultra Burst animation looks, or not even animation, just the button looks sick. I can Ultra and just Earth Power the Instant and fake out Rayquaza. Yeah, that's a shame. I really thought Rayquaza was going to protect there, because if I get that knockout, it's actually pretty good for us. He's going to be swapping out into Feeny, okay. I wonder if Earth Power gets the knockout onto Instant. If it does, maybe we can bring it back. Probably not. Because I don't have Psychic Terrain anymore, so I don't do enough damage. That is sick, though. Okay. You get the Earth Power off. Does knock out Instant. Okay. Yeah, the issue is I don't do enough damage to knock out Rayquaza and the Xerneas. We could have brought it back. I mean, I'm still wondering, maybe I should have just attacked the Zern, but I don't regret Moonblasting the Instant slot, because I was behind, so I need to claw my way back, and it's just safer to protect Rayquaza there most of the time. I don't want to commit my... I have to save the Z move for Xerneas, I think. So I'm going to protect, I guess, Flare Blitz the Rayquaza and hope that it's in KO range from a Moongeist Beam. I mean, this Feeny probably has Scald too, which also is going to hurt. But he's got an Icy Wind, which actually also, yeah, works fine. I do have Snarl on this instant, which is why I'm not completely giving up yet. Because that can, you know, shut down Xerneas a fair amount. Oh, it's Crunch Rayquaza, okay. Do I think that's in KO range? I don't think it is. But I have to save my Z move for Xerneas, I think. Or does it even... Do I even? Because I'm going to eat up the Icy Wind, so I'm going to be slower anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to commit the Z move now, because I need to knock out the Rayquaza. And I'll Snarl. Losing Groudon so early on was obviously really bad. I don't know if this animation is copyrighted or not. It's also my first time seeing it. But obviously turn 1 was just terrible. We got... I wouldn't even call it cheesed. Wow, that is sick though. But yeah. I mean, I'm still thinking... I just... Like, I should just assume Feeny has a water type attack. So it's just not good to lead Groudon against this comp, I think. I was just expecting Instant Feeny as a lead. Yeah, just because it's like kind of disruptive. You know, Lele puts Lele in a pretty awkward spot. It's such a long animation, but that looks freaking sick. With an animation that cool, it better be enough to knock out Rayquaza. Oh my gosh. Alright, that's definitely Assault Vested, which explains the lack of Protect. I thought maybe the Instant was Assault Vested because it took Moonblast so well, but it's clearly not the case. So we will lose this one. That explains the lack of Protect as well. So, pretty cool to see. But, yeah, lesson learned about Feeny having a Z move especially. Yeah, and the Avoid. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't think if it's Assault Vested, it survives that Snarl anyway. So yeah, it's not much I can really do to come back to win this one. I'll still play it out though. But given that the Rayquaza had Crunch, AV did seem pretty likely. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to Protect, knock out Rayquaza with Flare Blitz, get a crit, a bunch of shenanigans. But it was going to be pretty tough to win this one after turn 1. Yeah, I mean, so it's like mixed between support and offensive Feeny here. Does have the Z move, but also has Heal Pulse and Icy Wind. So pretty cool to see that. With that, there's really not much we can do. Maybe we can get a burn. No burn. Yeah, I want to see if V-Speed knocks me out, though. Because I don't really know my Ultra Necrozma calc, so let's find out. Such a cool animation, but alas, was not enough to net us the win. Even if we knock out, though, I don't think it's enough anyway. I mean, I'm just like losing one of your 2 restricteds is obviously so bad, especially like the way I did. So, oh, I'm still faster. That would have been good to know. I forgot how fast Ultra Necrozma is exactly. It does hang on though. Yeah, that's definitely AV Rayquaza. He is gonna Crunch. But yeah, I wasn't winning this anyway. Like, even 2 Flare Blitzes probably don't knock out. And yeah, I can't actually win with Feeny having Heal Pulse. So you can see the utility of having a water type attack on your Feeny when you're next to a Rayquaza. It can just nuke Groudons immediately, like the way I lost mine. So yeah, looking back, what could I have done better? Lead wise could have been better. I mean, turn 1 was just too risky. I guess I shouldn't have worried as much about Xerneas even setting up, and it's better to scout out for what Feeny wants to do. Yeah, in a best of 1 setting, I think I can't just be playing willy-nilly with Groudon the way I did. Let's see, lead-wise, I mean, Lele... I like the idea of leading Lele because it puts on pressure against Rayquaza, and you can't fake out. But the Feeny can just come in at any point. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board on how to approach that matchup. That's definitely one of the more common matchups that I'd have to face up as well. But yeah, I mean, maybe Salamence could have pulled something off. It's just, yeah, I mean, Feeny Icy Wind, like, 2-shots it, which is part of the problem. So that's not very fun to deal with. But it does have access to Tailwind. It does hit pretty hard with Double Edge. I mean, I think I could have just played better with the Pokemon that I did bring. Ultimately, I just cannot be losing Groudon the way I did. That was just way too reckless. So, alright, let's try to come back and win this one. Lunala and Kyogre. Okay, interesting. It's so weird playing this format because it's like I'm just like, what is even going on right now? Okay, I think Salamence is pretty decent here. Gets access to Tailwind. Hyper Voice hits everything on my opponent's team, so I'm gonna want the Mega Salamence for sure. Mungus actually might be okay. Definitely want Groudon, that's for sure. I got Salamence and Groudon tapped in. I mean, I kind of want to just go Lele and Necrozma Dusk. I'm leading Salamence, that's for sure. Alright, let's go Salamence Necrozma with Groudon and Lele. Yeah, Amoonguss is one of those Pokemon that I don't think I'm that great playing with. It's like in a best of one, I don't know, I'm like more uncomfortable bringing it most of the times. Instant's always good, obviously, but yeah, I want to try these guys out. We'll see how it goes. I guess one of the things that I'm gonna have to learn is when to bring Lele and Necrozma with this team. You know, Ultra Necrozma is allowed in Ultra Series, but I think most top players have it billed as, like, it's pretty good, but it's not as good as your more consistent options like Kyogre, Groudon, Xerneas, and Rayquaza, which is pretty interesting. Okay. So I got Salamence and Necrozma. I mean, one thing I have to wonder is what my opponent's Lunala is going to do. Tailwind, Trick Room. Doesn't seem like there's much stopping me, though, from just Mega Evolving. Whoa. That's not what I want to do. Mega Evolve. Hyper Voice, Mega Evolve, or Ultra Burst, then Moon Ice Beam. Seems pretty consistent, especially with the Intimidate on Scizor. I still can't believe I just gave out Groudon the way I did the last game. That's so sad, but that's me for assuming the Feeny was just going to be support-oriented. Alright, we're going to see a double... I mean, I wanted to try out this Necrozma just because I'm like, okay, what the heck is Ultra Necrozma? Plus just the idea of having like that next to a Mega Salamence seems sick. There's so many animations turn one. It's Mega Scizor too, which is cool to see. One of my favorite... I mean, Scizor's just one of my favorite Pokemon. Okay. Alright, Lunala does Protect, which is pretty expected, but I still don't mind going for this play. Like, Hyper Voice should still do, what, 35%-ish restore to Scizor? We probably eat up, like, a knockoff, maybe? He actually Swords Dances. Okay. That's fine, I mean, it's +1 now. Does obviously get access to Bug Bite. I'm still prioritizing knocking out this Lunala, though. Yeah, I don't think Scizor's that much of a threat. It's just Lunala obviously could switch out. And there is the Incineroar in the back. I do, like, instant switching in would be pretty bad, so I'm actually going to double down on Scizor. And it just switch out. Okay, nice. Yeah. Worst case, Scizor protects, but either way, I'll take this turn. Because then I can just double protect next turn and block the fake out. Intimidate doesn't matter too much. So that's pretty good. Nice. No protect. Hopefully the double up knocks out. Moongeist Beam's animation is sick. Wow. That should be enough to knock out based off the first Hyper Voice. Let's see. Okay, good. Good. That was a really good turn. Yeah, Mega Scizor, I think, is definitely one of the more niche Megas. Obviously, Salamence, Gengar, Rayquaza are all super good. So we're going to see Lunala come back in. I'm worried about Trick Room Lunala. That's the main concern right now. But I do have Lele, so I can switch it in right now to block a Fake Out. And just go for the Moongeist Beam onto my opponent's Lunala. The question is that enough to knock out? I don't know about that. Is that the best play? Because Insane can just fake the Necrozma out, and a Hyper Voice isn't too great here for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go into the Lele and just Moongeist Beam Lunala. I don't know if it'll be enough to knock out, but I'll take it. I mean, if there's... I mean, obviously it could also be Tailwind Lunala, but Instant is not putting on damage pressure right now, and Groudon can just click Precipice Blades, and yeah, we do see the Fake Out into the terrain. Okay, good. I mean, if this knocks out, the game's 100% over, but even if not, I'm still feeling pretty good. Yeah, I did survive. And there is the Trick Room. Okay, so that was pretty much the worst case scenario, but there wasn't much I could have done to really get out of that. The thing is, if I knock out Lunala here, I just win the Weather War immediately. And then Groudon just wins, right? So I think it's best just to double up onto Lunala here. I guess the best play for my opponent is you protect your Lunala, but it doesn't. So one of these two should be knocking out Lunala this turn. I expect just a Moongeist Beam, maybe a Z move. Yep, it's gonna be a Z move. I mean, this probably goes into my Necrozma, but that's fine. Moonblast should still knock out Lunala, even at -1. And then I switch in Salamence, and then Groudon should just win. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the nice things about Groudon, right? Like, especially if you're not running Rayquaza. If you win the Weather War, Kyogre is stuck Ice Beaming you, which isn't too great. Yep, so there's the Z move. Should knock me out cleanly. But I didn't want to protect there in the off chance my opponent just doesn't commit the Z move and attacks Lele. I'd rather just double up onto Necrozma and get the guaranteed knockout. Although I guess I'm not sure if Moonblast is actually guaranteed knockout here, so let's see. Oh man, it doesn't. Literally hangs on with like 1 HP. Alright, that's kind of frustrating, but that's fine. I'll still bring out Groudon. I don't know how slow the Necrozma is here either. Damn, that's really frustrating. I just thought like surely even after Snarl I'd get that knockout. But that's okay. I think here I just switch Lele into Salamence and Precipice Blades. And the reason I'm switching Lele out is there's not much point of conserving it right now. We know Lunala's committed a Z move, so even a double up in a Groudon shouldn't knock me out. And I want to win the Weather War against Kyogre, so I need to make sure I'm not stuck to my last two. You shouldn't be able to knock out Salamence here either after committing the Z move. So, yeah. Shame that didn't knock out because the knockout there guarantees us the win, I think. But we're still looking okay. Yeah, so Lele's going to switch out first. So no switch outs on my opponent's end. Probably a U-turn. So Lunala protects. Yeah. This makes this kind of dicey. The U-turn was kind of predictable, so I could have doubled up into that slot, but the question is how slow is the Kyogre relative to the Groudon? It probably outspeeds me, like I should assume that. I will get a pretty beefy Precipice Blades here. Should do around 40-ish or so, if it connects. And we are slowly chipping away at everything. Groudon isn't taking any damage, so obviously conserving Groudon is key. It's a good protect, though, from the Lunala for sure. And Precipice Blades does hit. Okay. Yep. Right around the money. I mean, this next turn is a very obvious play from my end, but I think I still go for it. Which is just protect and switch out into Lele. Yeah, I think I still have to go for it. Oh man, Lunala not getting knocked out made my life a lot harder. Actually, I think it's worth attacking with Salamence there. I don't think he Ice Beams here. Yeah. Although I guess I still probably fall to an Origin Pulse plus a Moongeist Beam. Or a Psyshock. I don't know about that. Ooh, Lele hangs on. Nice. Okay, well then I'm switching Salamence into Groudon here. For sure. And Psyshocking Kyogre. Yeah, I mean, I'm just assuming right now that the Kyogre is going to be slower than the Groudon. Because you're running a Trick Room team, so... That would make, I mean, it could be Turbo, like Tailwind and Trick Room Lunala, though, which is the tricky part. My opponent's obviously probably going to read through this and just Ice Beam, but I've successfully stalled out Tailwind, which is the most important thing. Yeah, so using Ice Beam. Into Groudon, yep. And the Moongeist Beam. If that goes into Groudon for some reason, then game's just over, but... Oh, it does. Wow. Alright, well, side it's over. I mean, I think it should be over. Yeah. Because you can't Fake Out now. Trick Room expires. It's kind of weird to double... Oh, well, no. Terrain disappears. But Salamence should just close this up at this point. I just click Psyshock onto the Lunala. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see the double up there, but I guess it's like if I stay in with Salamence, you get the knockout, then I just lose. Maybe my opponent was hoping that the double up would knock out the Groudon. But I'm just going to Precipice Blades and Psyshock. Because the way I lose this is... Yeah, I mean, Salamence should win this by Hyper Voice spam. So I actually should Fire Punch here. I should just double up onto Lunala. I probably get both Pokemon knocked out here by Fake Out and Psyshock, but that's fine. Oh, he fakes out Groudon. That's really weird. Or she, excuse me. Okay, yeah, that works. So, I mean, I'm covering for all my bases there, right? Like, worst case is you Fake Out Lele and just knock out Groudon. But if you do that, then Salamence comes in. I just keep clicking Hyper Voice, and Instinct can't beat Salamence one-on-one. And Hyper Voice just kind of whittles away at it. And... that prevents the Trick Room option, because Trick Room is like the one thing I'm afraid of here. Yeah, I'm not even going to switch out, because I don't want to take any extra damage with Salamence. See, single target Precipice Blades, disconnect. Is it enough to knock out this Incin? Nice, it is. Alright, so we split the games today. A little bit cleaner this one. It was slightly unfortunate the Lunala hung on, but we do end up getting the win. I felt like the lead was really good. Mega Scizor was really useless, and it was really key denying Scizor from getting any attack off after the Swords Dance, so that really saved us. Not the hardest prediction to make there, but definitely helped us, obviously. Lunala getting Trick Room up did make things a little bit scarier, but I felt pretty good because Groudon is a pretty good matchup, and ultimately I was like, okay, if I just put myself in a position where I can click Precipice Blades, I think we should be good. That first game obviously could have gone a lot better, but I'm here to showcase my mistakes, and so you guys and me as well can learn from them as we go along. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back to the drawing board on how to approach that matchup, because I expect to see it a lot more in the upcoming weeks or even months. That's probably going to be a very common team archetype, so learning how to deal with Feeny with this team is going to be important. I don't think Ultra Necrozma or this team comp in general is going to be like incredibly strong relative to some of the more common ones, but I wanted to try it out because obviously any like psychic type spam is always pretty fun, and Ultra Necrozma is really cool. So thanks again to William, aka Absurdity, for building this team and for sharing it online. I'll definitely be featuring more of my own teams throughout Ultra because it is a more compelling series and I think it'll be pretty fun. But wanted to try out this one, and of course check out all the links in the description below, mainly the two ones where you can try out your own teams based off, or try out teams that other people have built. So yeah, been rambling for a while, but it is really fun to try out this brand new format. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to playing. As always, if you did enjoy, please show your support by leaving a like. It really helps out, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right, peace.